is he talking to? I can manage that myself. It's fine not to perform together on stage either. I respect the organization on this one, and I respect every audience member here. Thank you. I'm standing here myself, though, because I will just embrace this awkwardness. I want to thank everyone for coming. Thank you all, honestly. Who he is has nothing to do with me because I don't even know him. I don't even fucking care, motherfucker.
说实话，他是谁跟我一点关系都没有，因为我本身就不认识。I don't care, motherfucker.
Woo! What the f just happened? Okay, you just kind of killed the vibe, sir. Something is obviously going on. This is such a bold statement. He's saying some shit went down. People check his social media page and Tao, one of the biggest artists in China, starts live streaming Backstage, pissed off. He suddenly went on stage. I had to wait for him until 8 p.m. and he said he wasn't willing to perform a song with me because he didn't have a rehearsal the night before. Who are you?
Moment. You've done wigs for
I love wigs. Why, was your hair breaking?
Super.
Yeah, I was going literally bald.
Yeah,
I wear
no,
wigs.
I'm absolutely literally bald. We took out the extensions yesterday, and I was like, oh damn, like I look like Howie Mandel.
Yep.
And like I'm bald.
No.
And so I can't bleach it for a couple weeks. You get it more than anyone.
Yeah.
So
Are you gonna continue?
One last bleach and tone before the summer, before the summer ends.
I'm gonna miss it. I miss the bleach and tone era of everybody.
It is like a drug.
You're holding strong for the platinum blondes of Y2K.
It's my favorite fucking thing in the world, and I hate that it comes with damage. But I guess that's everything I love. You know.
Yeah. No, this is great. This whole moment.
I feel, but
love it.
I just don't you like feel weird when you're not blonde?
Yes.
Like,
I don't feel as pretty. I don't even with the platinum blonde. I feel like I'm not like a Playboy bombshell.
Like I just feel like you get more attention.
Yeah.
People are like nicer to you. They assume you're dumber, which is my favorite thing ever.
Right,
like,
right.
I can't do anything. I'm just so stupid.
Yeah,
like,
but you play it up. I feel like you
know.
play into it.
Yeah.
You like people to think that.
For sure.
Because then people are like, oh, you're actually like so smart. Like you just did a
How's that work? Oh my god. I think a lot of people want to know everything.
Well, should a lot of people mind their goddamn business? Or, hey, should we finally stop all of this weird vagueness and just tell the truth?
One of the biggest conspiracies in the history of the internet. Is fan real?
We're gonna talk about it.
They start picking her up, moving her off the bed. She briefly tries to kick them, but the 4 men are really strong. They carry her like a hog out of her room, out of the house, and into their van. They throw her in the back, and for the next 36 hours, she would be stuck in that van. And they were driving the whole time too. So it's not like she was being held captive in the van. She had no idea where the hell they were going. She didn't know if they were driving in circles to purposely confuse her, disorient her, or if they're driving across the country. The longer they're in the van, the more she feels like my chances of ever seeing my family again, down the drain. She wasn't even allowed to get out and use the restroom for 37 hours straight, which of course she tried. She tried begging the kidnappers, like, I'm gonna pee back here. They didn't care. She thought if I can get into a rest break restroom, I can try and escape, alert someone that I'm being kidnapped. But she was not
stable job in 1981 in Washington, D.C., hosting morning radio at WWDC. Stern knew this job was a big enough resume booster to eventually land him in New York. He knew he needed to be rambunctious to dominate his competition, but he couldn't do it alone. Building a team was very important. He connected with his co-host Robin Quivers. Stern's team loved Robin's laugh and thought she would be a perfect fit for Howard to riff with. She could serve as an effective counterweight to Howard's often racially charged antics. Management liked the idea of pairing the controversial Jewish guy from New York with the black woman from nearby Baltimore. With his dream team assembled, Stern was feeling cocky, and he let his listeners know immediately that he was not your typical radio host. In his very first broadcast at WWDC, he called the office of Mayor Marion Barry and yelled at the assistant who answered the phone to explain what kind of man calls himself Marion. That's a girl's name, Howard insisted. On the second day, he rang a local high school and proposed that students be given the day off to celebrate.
Who is he talking to? I can manage that myself. It's fine not to perform together on stage either. I respect the organization on this one, and I respect every audience member here. Thank you. I'm standing here myself, though, because I will just embrace this awkwardness. I want to thank everyone for coming. Thank you all, honestly. Who he is has nothing to do with me because I don't even know him. I don't even fucking care, motherfucker.
说实话，他是谁跟我一点关系都没有，因为我本身就不认识。I don't care, motherfucker.
What the f just happened? Okay, you just kind of killed the vibe, sir. Something is obviously going on. This is such a bold statement. He's saying some shit went down. People check his social media page and Tao, one of the biggest artists in China, starts live streaming Backstage, pissed off. He suddenly went on stage. I had to wait for him until 8 p.m. and he said he wasn't willing to perform a song with me because he didn't have a rehearsal the night before. Who are you?
And so I'm like, I held his hand while he held his teddy bear and got scanned. And he was missing the function of his left temporal lobe. I'd never seen it. I've seen it 100 times since then. Turned out he had a cyst the size of a golf ball occupied in the space of his left temporal lobe. And I told his pediatrician, I said, you find somebody to take it out because he wasn't in my neighborhood. And he talked to 3 neurologists. All of them said they wouldn't touch the cyst until he had real symptoms. At which point I lost my mind and I start screaming at the pediatrician. I have a homicidal, suicidal child who attacks people for no reason. What do you mean real symptoms? And he got anxious and he said, I think they mean like seizures or illusions.
Like I did in the beginning. When it first landed, I thought, man, you know, there was I wanted to hit Twitter and be like, look, I got receipts, this, that, but this, but not that, but this, but not that. And the reality is, all of that shit is unimportant. The reality is that she saved my fucking life, dude. Wow. Yeah. So I she's like some kind of sage or like I don't know. She's a saint for me because had she not intervened in my life and not created the avenue for me to experience ego death, I'd either have a really mediocre existence or I'd be dead in full. And, you know, I had no love in my life. I had no purpose in my life. My whole purpose, as you know, was just craft. It was just, I'm going to be good at this thing, and that's all that I have. The only thing I care about in life is being a good actor. And that's such a vapid, shallow existence. And 3 emotions that I toggled between, which was, I would feel...
We have a lot of nature, big ups and big props for Ventura for this. Those tigers have been hand raised. They can't go back to the wild.
That's right.
They've been living under terrible conditions. Now they're here. They've got a huge ass paddock here. They've got like whole animals to feed off, and they can eat by themselves without human contact and do their own thing.
They're just tigers being tigers. This is basically a bit of behavioral enrichment for them.
Okay, the tigers were a very cool first experience, and the setup I saw was absolutely amazing. But now let's take a look.
Not defeated, gone. Snuffed like a sputtering candle in the infinite darkness of the void. It was only then that the dwindling echoes of cannons and torpedoes were heard faintly in the outer rim. The Corps didn't notice. There was trade, politics, science, art, all drowned out the quiet. But the outskirts of the settled galaxies heard the stories and noticed the turbulence under the calm surface. Deep mining crews vanishing without a distress beacon. Freighters found drifting with stolen cargo. Missing trajectory reports and communication terminals rerouting comm signals because a relay station had gone dark. An insidious dead space creeping ever closer towards the core. Just stories from crew too long in the deep. Murmurs. Murmurs of the eradication of the Shrike by monsters from the edge of the black. Then was the incident at station GH-5360, the most infamous 7 characters in living memory. The official reports are still classified.